Hi everyone, Hannah here. Today we are going to alter our book cover for our March and April Mixed Media Junk Journal. I've been kind of putting together some ideas in my mind, and so today I'm just going ahead and pulling the plunge in doing it. I still have some more layouts that I need to finish. I'm about halfway done on the inside of my book, but I know that y'all are probably wondering how I'm going to do the cover, and I thought, well, we're kind of getting to the end of this here before the May box is launched, so I thought I need to go ahead and do the cover. I just dread doing the cover because then I feel like in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I'm done with this book now, and I'm really not done. I still have the inside to do. So I don't know, maybe next month I might actually do the cover first and then do all the layouts next. I'm not sure. I need to find a way so that I can I guess process it in my mind better. But I'm just taking some of the tissue paper and just Mod Podging it onto the cover. And as you'll notice, I'm kind of scrunching it up because I want to add texture to the cover. I don't want everything to be flat and perfect and tidy. I kind of want to grunge it up a little bit. So I'm taking my utility knife and cutting into the cover a little bit. I'm trying not to cut into the actual spine, the insides of the book. I'm trying to cut up some of the cover. So it's kind of a hard one to do. Some books are easier than others. So I'm just kind of hacking away at it. And then I'm just doing a little bit at the bottom as well. And it was easier on the bottom to just kind of cut into that top layer and just flick it up a little bit. But I am adding in some glue as I'm doing this because I don't want to leave the inside of the book exposed. So I basically just kind of want to seal it off, and that's what I'm using the glue for. But I'm going ahead and just kind of hacking away a little bit more to bring it closer into the tissue paper to kind of bring everything together so it's not so separated and spaced out. And then I'm just taking and adding some more glue again to just seal the opening that I've cut here. I took a book page and cut some strips out of it, and then I'm just taking it and just kind of crinkling up those pieces, just grunging it up before I glue it down, just kind of trying to go for like a natural look. With it being kind of a spring themed book, you think about nature and the way that nature is, and it's not maybe perfect, like everything's neat, like a tree, the bark is rough. And so that was kind of my inspiration for the cover, is like, a tree, and paper comes from trees, and the bark is real rough. So I just wanted to rough up the paper a little bit. And in doing so, again, it adds to that texture. We added some texture by, kind of scrunching up the tissue paper. Now we're adding more texture with these crumpled pieces of paper. So I really like how this is turning out. And now I'm fussy cutting a butterfly out of one of the journaling cards. So I got that cut, and I'm just roughing up the edges with my scissors. I do have a distress tool, but it's so much more convenient for me to just use my scissors because I'm using them anyway. And so now I'm taking this other journaling card in the kit, and I roughed up a couple of the sides, and then I'm trying to think if I want to cut some of it off. So I'm lining up my butterfly on there, and I am going to go ahead and cut some of it off and then distress all of the edges here. And which, if you have some ink, or you could use your shimmer mist, you could kind of spray on that as well. And then I'm just taking part of the piece that I cut and roughing it up. And I'm going to turn it over so that it has that orange colored background. It just gives some contrast. Since we have a lot of ivory and cream colors, I want a little bit of contrast there. And now I'm just going to start gluing everything down. To lift my journaling card up a little bit, I cut some, it's really thin chipboard, what you get in like packaging material. And so I just wanted to add that onto the back of that. Now, for whatever reason, my camera just stopped recording. I have no clue why. I had it on airplane mode, and I had my alarms cut off, so I don't know what happened, but so we missed a little bit in the video. I took my utility knife and poked a little hole at the bottom of that journaling card, and I had a little eye loop or ring, whatever you want to call it, and I put that through with our little green charm. And then I took another little jump ring and I hooked a little wing onto the bottom of that green charm. And then I added a little bit of glue as well. It will dangle, but I also added some glue to where I punched in that hole. I could have used, what do you call it, an eyelet, but I just didn't have that on hand, and it was just a lot of extra stuff. So and so I thought, we're just going to keep this easy peasy, and so I just added some glue where I had that hole at. And then on the first button here, I added some of our thread that we received in our kit. And then I'm just adding a couple of other buttons. I like to add, like maybe 2 or 3 buttons and have one going from the bigger size to the medium and then the small. So I've just kind of liked how that is. And I wanted to leave the image on the cover. I did not want to cover that up. So all in all, I really like how the cover has turned out. So now let's add our paint. I had a little bit of this green heavy body acrylic paint left over, so I wanted to go ahead and use some of it on the cover just to add a little color to some of our cream colored papers here. So I'm just kind of adding it in different places. I'm even basically I just add it around the edges of different things, and so that's what I'm doing. I do even add some on the crinkled parts of the tissue paper as well. So now I am finishing it up with some of the white gold wax paste. We have not used this in our tutorials yet, so I definitely wanted to get cracking on it. I actually just forgot to add it, so I'll go back and add it in some of my layouts that I've made, as well as the other layouts that I plan to make. I'll go ahead and use up some of that. But I'm just adding it around the corners and edges of everything, even onto the tissue paper. I really like the look of the wax paste on the tissue paper. It just, I guess with the white gold color on top of that dark green, it just really looks good. And I'm just kind of adding it all over the place. I notice as I'm adding it to the white strips of paper, you know, that it's not, I guess it's a darker color, whereas when you add it to the green it looks lighter. So I really like how that it's a darker color on this light paper. And I'm just going to keep adding it on different parts of the front. And then I'm even going to go in onto the spine of the book. You know, just along the edges and even on the back of the book. I don't think that I have done this in any of the other tutorials yet, and I'm like, wow, I must have really forgot to do some things here. So I definitely wanted to do that, which I do see my thumbprint right here, but I actually do, you know, spread that out a little bit so you don't see the thumbprint. So I really had fun making this cover. You know, it's a lot of fun. I like altering the books. It's a fun process. Definitely a fun hobby to do. If you're looking for a hobby, this is a really fun one. And it's pretty easy, I think, too. You can go as deep as you want to in this, or you can just keep it you know, as minor as possible. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Thank you so much for watching.